Rain poured down on the city streets as Lila Ahmed wheeled herself into the small Italian restaurant. Her hands trembled slightly on the cold metal rims of her wheelchair. She wasn't used to coming to places like this: dim lights, violin music, candles flickering on tables. But her best friend insisted. "Lila, he's different, smart, kind, a real gentleman," her friend had said. Now, sitting at a corner table near the window, Lila tried to believe her. She hadn't been on a date in years, not since the car accident that took her ability to walk. People looked at her differently now. Some avoided eye contact, others pitied her. But no one really saw her anymore. A group of young men entered the restaurant, laughing loudly. One of them pointed in her direction, and the laughter grew. Lila's stomach twisted. "Don't tell me," she whispered. The man they called Ethan strutted toward her table, smirking. "Hey there, Lila, right. I'm your blind date." She smiled nervously. "Yes, hi, I'm." He cut her off. "Wow, you're actually in a wheelchair." The table beside them went quiet. The other men snickered behind their menus. Lila's heart began to race. She felt the weight of every eye in the restaurant. Ethan sat down anyway. "You know, my buddies didn't tell me this part of the surprise." Her lips quivered. "Surprise?" "Yeah," he chuckled, glancing at his friends. "They said I was too picky, so they set me up with, well, you." Her chest tightened. "With me?" He leaned closer. "Relax, sweetheart. It's just a joke. You're not really my type, obviously. But hey, you've got a good sense of humor, right?" The sound of their laughter stung worse than any insult. She wanted to leave, to disappear, but the exit felt miles away. Tears burned her eyes, but she forced them back. And then, a deep, calm voice broke the cruel laughter. "Excuse me," the man said. Everyone turned. At the next table sat Alexander Reed, a tall, broad-shouldered man in a navy suit. His sharp blue eyes held quiet authority. He stood up slowly, placing his napkin on the table. "That's enough." The laughter died instantly. Ethan frowned. "Who are you, man?" Alexander's expression didn't change. "Someone who doesn't tolerate bullies." He looked at Lila, and his voice softened. "Are you okay?" Lila could barely speak. I'm fine." But she wasn't. He extended his hand to her. "Then let me help you leave this place." For a moment, she hesitated, unsure if this was pity or kindness. But something in his eyes told her it was neither. It was respect. She placed her trembling hand in his, and the restaurant went silent as the powerful CEO led the paralyzed girl out, leaving the bullies behind in stunned shame. Outside, rain still fell in gentle sheets. Alexander guided Lila to his car, careful not to touch her wheelchair without asking. "Do you need a ride home?" he asked softly. Lila blinked back tears. "You don't have to. You don't even know me." He smiled faintly. "That's true. But I can't walk away after seeing that." She hesitated, then nodded. "Okay." Inside his sleek black car, the warmth surrounded her. The scent of leather and faint cologne made her realize how surreal this was: a stranger rescuing her from humiliation. "I'm sorry you had to see that," she whispered. "Don't be." He kept his eyes on the road. "They should be ashamed, not you." There was silence for a moment. Then Lila asked, "Why did you help me?" He glanced at her, then smiled faintly. "Because someone once did the same for me." That answer confused her. "For you?" "Yes," he said quietly. "My little girl, Ava. She's 7. When her mother left us after her diagnosis, I thought I'd lost everything." Lila turned toward him. "Diagnosis?" He nodded. "Ava can't walk. The doctors said it's permanent. But she's still the brightest, bravest kid I know." Something shifted inside Lila's chest. The confident, intimidating CEO wasn't just a powerful man, he was a father who understood. "You really understand what this feels like," she said softly. "I do," he replied. "That's why what they did in there made me furious. They mocked something they can't comprehend." For the first time that night, Lila smiled genuinely. When he dropped her home, she thanked him, but he stopped her before she could leave. "Lila," he said, "would you have dinner with me? For real this time?" Her heart stuttered. "You mean, another date?" He smiled warmly. "Yes. No jokes, no pity. Just two people having dinner." Tears welled in her eyes. "I'd like that." When he drove away, she couldn't stop smiling. For once, she didn't feel like the girl in the wheelchair. She felt like someone worth being seen. And neither of them knew that night would change both their lives forever. 2 weeks later, Lila rolled into an elegant rooftop restaurant. The city lights sparkled below, and a soft breeze carried the scent of roses. Alexander stood waiting, holding a small bouquet. "You look beautiful," he said. She laughed shyly. "You say that to all your dates." "Only the ones who make me nervous," he admitted. Their dinner was filled with laughter, shared stories, and small, precious silences that didn't need to be filled. He told her about his daughter's courage. She told him how she learned to paint again after the accident. When the waiter left them alone, Alexander grew quiet. "Lila, can I tell you something?" She nodded. "That night, when I saw you, I didn't just see a woman being mocked. I saw strength. You reminded me of my daughter, the way you held your head up even when they tried to break you." Her throat tightened. "I didn't feel strong." He reached across the table, taking her hand gently. "But you were, and you still are." Tears shimmered in her eyes. "You make me believe it." At that moment, a small voice came from behind them. "Daddy." Lila turned. A little girl in a wheelchair sped toward Alexander, giggling. She had bright curls and eyes full of mischief. Alexander knelt beside her. "Lila, this is my daughter, Ava." Ava looked up shyly. "Hi. Daddy told me you're a hero." Lila blinked, moved beyond words. "He did." Ava nodded. "He said you're brave like me." Something warm and powerful filled Lila's heart. She smiled through her tears and took Ava's tiny hand in hers. "Then we're both heroes, aren't we?" Ava grinned wide. "Yeah." Alexander watched the two of them, his eyes softening. For the first time in years, he felt peace. Not just admiration but something deeper. As the sun dipped below the skyline, Alexander stood and extended his hand to Lila again. "May I?" he asked. She hesitated, glancing at her wheelchair. "You don't mind." He shook his head. "Lila, I don't see the chair. I see you." Her breath caught. Slowly, she placed her hand in his. And as he held it gently, something magical happened. Two broken souls, each carrying invisible scars, began to heal in each other's presence. The cruel joke that began as humiliation ended as destiny. Because sometimes, love doesn't walk into your life. It rolls in with quiet grace and a single, steady hand to hold forever.